She's experimenting with the whole art gallery experience in bold new ways. Some people do appreciate it, but no, she's not rich. And it's not like we live in a country where there are grants for artists and ways for them to...
Okay, spare me the rant. So then, like, if they're real, why are they doing it? Are they getting paid for it?
I don't think so. I didn't ask her. But I assume they did not get paid. I just told you she has no money.
So then, why would they come and be a part of this installation and just sit there and have us stare at them?
Because they respect Hecuba. They expect her work. They believe in her art.
Kylie, seriously? Did her parents give her that name?
What?
Hecuba Rosenblatt. That is a truly terrible name. Did her parents do that to her, or did she do it to herself?
I think she chose it for herself. She's forging her own identity.
You don't think that identity is maybe just a tad pretentious? Like this performance art installation or whatever it is.
No. I think she's doing bold and exciting work, and I'm proud to call her my friend. I know that a lot of people consciously or subconsciously have a problem with women artists, with the whole idea as woman as artist, instead of as muse, as a person with agency, as a person providing others with visual images and defying the ubiquitousness of the male gaze.
Oh, stop it. Women are great as subjects or as objects. I have no problem with women artists. I like Georgia O'Keeffe. I like Mary Passett. I was disappointed when I found out that Joan Miro was a guy. I always liked his work.
But a woman changing the rules and shaking things up, that unsettles you. Even though you're a supposedly liberated woman yourself. And I find that very sad.
I don't like trendy, pretentious experiments like this. Big dead sharks in tanks full of formaldehyde, you know? Madonnas painted with elephant poop.
That's a wonderful painting.
Crucifixes submerged in piss.
Now that is a beautiful photograph. Suffused with a kind of divine spiritual life. If you didn't know how Serrano had done it, you would swear that God herself was immersing that crucifix in her love, her glory. Why can't you just get past
Because unconventional, I guess. Plus, I don't like gimmicks. I don't like artists posing in their own art installation, eating lunch or sleeping, or sitting in a box. You might as well have Harry Houdini or David Copperfield suspended from a building, you know? That, at least, would be less pretentious. And I don't like it when artists film themselves doing whatever mundane stuff and put it on a screen and call it art. Or this stuff. It's silly. It's a dead end. It's not what I go to a museum to see.
Wow. The Republicans who slash and destroy the NSA must love you. You are every bit as dull and narrow as close-minded as they are.
I don't get all morally offended or religiously offended, but I hate gimmicks. I hate Barnabism pretending that it's something that's really deep and significant. And another thing, I appreciate real craftsmanship. Some artists have the ability to paint lifelike pictures or see the world in some new impressionistic way and render it with a style that's unforgettable, that's unlike anyone else's. And other people, they don't have that skill, that talent. So, they either teach art in school...
Sure, as if schools still had enough money to invest in art teachers.
Or they come up with this stuff. And they say, oh, look, a new performance art installation. A bunch of people pretending to be an audience for an evening of theater. Only instead of them pretending to watch a show, you watch them. Whoop-de-doo.
You're just jealous because you didn't think of it yourself. It seems too simple and obvious to you. Maybe because you can't even begin to think on such original terms.
I don't want to.
And when an artist like Ai Weiwei finds himself undergoing human rights violations and posts it to the web, that's just Barneyism too? That's just trickery?
He's risking a hell of a lot more when he does that than Hecuba Rosenblatt ever has. And sometimes he builds things, like fiberglass models of himself with his jailers, or that bird's nest Olympic stadium. He knows about craftsmanship. He knows about design.
Well, and what if he has assistants creating the fiberglass statues for him? Just like so many of the old masters had assistants that helped with the execution of their projects? What if his great strength and his bold imagination and his willingness to question established rules is just like Hecuba?
Oh, please. What rules does Hecuba question?
The comforting but completely arbitrary illusion of a line between the audience and the work being viewed. As if they are art and audience, we're not in a dialogue with each other all the time. What Hecuba is doing here is as radical as when Andy Warhol painted a can of Campbell's soup or a picture of Marilyn Monroe and reminded us that art is a commodity. Everything can be commodified. And art can't be separated from pop culture, and all dichotomies are illusions. That's what Hecuba is saying also. If you just throw out your bourgeois prejudices for once, Erica, and open up your mind and heart to something new. Look at them. They've been reacting to us discussing them. So, are we the performance art installation, or are they?
I don't know. Does Hecuba know?
What do you mean?
I mean, maybe they've been duped by your crazy friend, and maybe we have too. Maybe they think they really are a theater audience, just like we think we're visiting a museum installation. Are you sure this space is a museum? It looks a hell of a lot like a theater to me.
Well, Hecuba modified the space to make it look like a theater. That's a crucial part of this piece.
So how could she afford to do that? You keep saying she's broke.
I guess she cut a deal with some theater that will move in after the installation is dismantled. How was that important?
How come other artists aren't in here, with pictures on the walls and so on?
Because this is not a group piece.
How come it doesn't say museum or gallery outside? How come it only says performance art by Hecuba Rosenblatt?
Because performance art is the name of this piece.
Yeah, either that or performance art is the name of this play and we're in it. Don't be ridiculous, or both at the same time. It doesn't have to be either or. All dichotomies are illusions, right? Maybe we're the observers, but we're also the art. Maybe we're just being commodified by your manipulative friend, just like these good people here. Should we ask them?
No, leave them alone. You don't pester and harass people who are part of an installation.
Why not? You think they got some kind of code no response thing, like the guards outside of Buckingham Palace?
No, but I think it's tacky and rude to disrupt an installation.
Okay, fine, whatever. Can we get out of here then?
Why? Why are you so unnerved by anything you don't understand at first glance? Maybe real art shouldn't make you comfortable. Maybe it should make you uncomfortable.
Maybe cameras make me uncomfortable. You know? What if Hecuba is filming this? What if we're going to be the subjects of her next installation for real?
Why would she film this?
She's one of those boring narcissistic artists who films things like herself sleeping, right?
She reconceptualizes those concepts. She had one show with a film of her sleeping where the camera focused on the rising and falling of her breasts in her sleep. But she had red plastic clown's noses on each of her nipples, which completely deconstructed the traditional role of the woman as an art object, and how the female body is usually perceived as passive and vulnerable, or as an object of reverence.
Great, good for her.
With witty and pointed subtext to all her work on film about how we are constantly under surveillance now by the NSA and internet providers and stores and corporations, and how in a world of webcams and reality shows, The line between public and private space has been hopelessly blurred.
The point is, she's into cameras. Suppose she also wants to destroy the dichotomy between, whatever, art and theater and film. And she's playing the role of the NSA to make a political point or whatever. Suppose she's secretly watching us, watching them watch us. What right do we have to prevent her from using it? I don't want to be a sucker, and I don't want to be her bitch.
Just give me 1 second. What a paranoid, self-hating woman you are.
Hey, you know what? Fine, if you say so, I'm leaving.
You wouldn't do that, would you? She wouldn't do that. She did it.